You get it from there.
Now I have an
There you
email
go.
that says this meeting is being
All
recorded.
right. All right, girl, we got it. All right.
Make the dream work.
Technical difficulties, but Melody is amazing. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much for your help. Okay, let's get back to reporting the numbers. You guys are awesome. Okay, Kim Hutchins, the amazing, fabulous agent, Kim Hutchins, tell me your numbers. So how many contacts made this week?
Okay, so I think I'm missing numbers from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. But based on what we have, 87 contacts made.
Okay.
4 appointments set. 4 appointments held. 2 clients signed brokerage agreements.
Yep.
And 1 closing.
Great. And how many are on? How many are here?
Let's see. Including me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is Ebony here? Darlene? Tevin? Darlene's here? Okay. Tevin?
Tevin's
Yeah,
here
I'm here.
in the chat.
Nikithia?
Yes, I'm here.
Carol? Okay, so 9 people are here.
Great. And out of the 9, how many did their homework?
I didn't. I left early, so I didn't really get the homework. I apologize.
Is that Nikki?
Yes.
Okay, it says Zoom user. Do you think maybe you could change your profile to put your name in there?
I can, but I don't know how.
Oh, it's okay. All right. So anybody else? So
I did my homework.
okay,
I did mine. Antonio did his. Laura, I think.
Yeah, mine's done, Kim.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mine's done, Kim. It's Donna.
Yep. I'm counting you, Donna. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, 4. Okay, we'll go with 4. Thank you. Okay, agents of manifestation, Miss Corey, how about the numbers? How many contacts made this week?
Good morning, afternoon, sorry.
Right? I know, I keep doing the same.
So we have, we're missing numbers, so, but we have a total of 53 contacts made.
Okay.
And then we have 8 appointments set.
Yep.
6 appointments held, 3 signed agreements, 1 pending closing, and then 3, actually, sorry, I think we have 5 in attendance. I think I just saw a few more people. Yeah.
Okay, how about homework?
We have 1 who did all the homework. I think everyone's finding a little challenge. But so yeah, so we haven't had everybody do everything, but we'll be working on that and sending everything as soon as we can.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. All right, goal getters, or we'll skip goal getters and let's go down to the 36ers. 36ers.
Who's that?
That's Nicole.
Okay.
That would
okay.
be you, Oscar.
Yep. We have 5 people. 5 people reported their numbers, and we have 171 contacts made.
171, got it. Appointment set.
5.
Held.
4.
Signed brokerage agreements.
1.
Okay. Closings.
0.
Okay. Attendance.
I don't know who we have. It's me, Cynthia, 2. I don't know if they can. Who else is in our team?
So on Nicole's team, Cynthia, Jose, Julian, Michelle Slater, Robin Consoy, Rebecca Nelson, Tatum McCurdy, Wendy Hamlin, and Sarah Sloan.
It's me and Cynthia so far, I think.
I think I saw Julian on here. Julian, aren't you here? Yep, Julian is here. Okay, so with that gives you 3, right? 3?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. And
You're welcome.
and homework for you 3.
For us 3, I did all of it. I did 75% of it.
I did it all.
Okay, good. All right.
Cynthia?
That's the only thing. Everything else was done. I couldn't.
Okay. Let's go up to Merle, the goal getters. Merle, contacts made.
Is she on the phone?
Merle, are you here? Merle, if you're here, please take yourself off. I see you're on here. Can you, let me unmute you. Merle?
Thank you.
Yep, go
Thank you
ahead.
very much. Yes. Of the 7 members, and I hope people will put it in the chat box that they are here or not. But we had we had 76 contacts. We had 10 appointments set. We had 10 appointments held.
Wait.
and
I
Okay.
cannot go that fast.
Oh,
Hold
okay.
on. Sorry about that. Hold on one second. Okay, let's start over. Merle, that was awesome. Thank you so much. All right, Merle, let's go one more time. Contacts made.
All right. Contacts made were 76.
Got it.
And appointments set were 10.
Got it.
Held were 10.
Yep.
And we have 4 signed agreements.
Got it.
And
Closings.
now, I do not know about homework, if anyone on this call. I can't tell you who all is here. I see Scott is being here. And Mike, I know you're here.
I
Anybody
know
else?
Nancy is here. Nancy's
Lawanda's here.
Okay.
Lawanda's here.
I'm here.
Great. And Nancy's here. Great. Well, that's great attendance.
That is. Okay, so you've got a total of 7 attendants, right?
Right.
Okay, and homework out of all, who did their homework?
Homework, I failed to ask that of you today. Can you speak up and let us know?
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and put 0 for that.
Okay.
And 0 for closings. All right, you guys, I think that's it. I don't believe that I have missed anybody. Thank you so much for reporting your numbers. Okay, let's talk about this for just a second. I wanna have I wanna have a heart-to-heart before we get started in the material. So here's the heart-to-heart. The material is a lot. And for you that are, for the students, I'm considering myself a student as well, even though we've been teaching it. It is a lot. But I have to also say that even though it's a lot, it's the same thing with everything. When you get, when you start learning something, yes, there is a lot. But the bottom line is, you guys, we're running businesses, right? We're running businesses, and running a business is sometimes hard. And running a business is, it's the reason that this is called 3612-3, and it's an actual lead generation curriculum. The whole curriculum is about lead generation. And sometimes I forget that, because it's a lot of material. But when I remind myself yet once again, as I'm going through it to prepare it to teach, it's a good reminder that, this is all about lead generation, and not everything. We're not going to do things perfectly, and and things are hard. But when you can do what you can and push yourself to even do more, because that's what running a successful business is like. In all of our lives, we've always had to push ourselves. That's why we're here. We didn't. This career that we have it's a wonderful, fulfilling career, but sometimes it's just stinking hard. And so, first of all, I just want to say thank you for making the commitment again to yourself this week to show up and do what you can out of that homework. And the reason why that's so important is it gets us into the mindset of reporting numbers. You guys, I've been in the business for 15 years and I still report my numbers every single day. I still do it. And at first I wanted to push back and say, no, I'm a stinking adult. I know what to do. And yet when I didn't report my numbers, here's where my mind went. My mind went, oh, I'll make it up tomorrow. But then I had no accountability the next day either. And so I said, oh, I'll make it up tomorrow. And next thing you know, I've got this huge gap in the business. So it's really all about mindset. So wrap your head around what you can of this. And we just want you to know we appreciate the effort that you are doing to further your business and cement this very important tool of lead generation in your mind. And so thank you for that. We acknowledge that it's stretching us. And so thank you for that. Thank you very much for that. As a matter of fact, I spoke to my coach last Tuesday and I said, look, if I can tell you anything today, would you please update the 36-12-3 curriculum? So hopefully we're going to get an updated 36-12-3 curriculum soon. But we're going to try to add some massive value today. So I know we talked a little bit earlier about challenges and ahas and things like that. And so we won't repeat that right now. If everyone, you should have your manual in your inbox by now. So let's jump right in. I'm going to share my screen. Now you guys, I don't want you to freak out when you see all of the slides here. Don't worry about seeing all those slides on there, because trust me, I promise you, I'm not going to take us through all of those slides, but I do like to have it up because it does help me to, it helps me to really keep focused. And one thing I really want to also ask that you do is, if you have questions, please put it in the chat box, and don't hesitate to say, hey, wait, hang on here. Can you explain that a little bit more? Okay. All right. Here's what we're going to be covering today. Can you see, which screen do you see? Do you see the power session 4?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, in this power session, we're going to learn about the power of a database. We had a little testimonial about that, just 2 testimonials about that earlier, with Tony getting that listing presentation, the opportunity for the listing presentation, and Nancy, 650. I mean, she's got 1.1 right now in her pipeline because of that. That's pretty amazing. So we're going to talk about building a database, feeding it every day, communicating with it in a systematic way, service all the leads that come your way, and final thoughts, and putting it all together. You guys, look where we are. We're right here. Oh my gosh, we're finally here. I love it. So we're leveraging a database. Guys, now it's really going to get fun. So for those of you who like to go deep and you wanted to really explore your validity and positioning and unique value proposition, I know you had fun there. And those of you who were like, I'm over it, let's just move on, tell me what to do, I know you're really glad to be 4 levels up, leveraging a database, right? Okay, so we're going to talk about, let me ask you something. What does leverage mean to you? Tell me what leverage means to you.
Freedom.
Freedom. I like that. Next.
One up.
One up. Man, I like that one too. What else?
taking some of the pressure directly off my shoulders.
Love that. I mean, I absolutely love that, right? The first time that I turned it over to, I turned my contract to close over to somebody, and I was absolutely, I mean, it took a lot for me to do that. And when I did it, I thought, oh my gosh, why didn't I do this earlier? Leverage, it's a beautiful thing. So, and let's talk just a minute about your database. Your database, you know, we repeat this word all the time, database, 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 right? We hear it all the time when we're like, yes, I know, I need the database. I heard somebody say, it's my data bank. I thought that's an interesting thing to look at it. I call it your gold mine. So the heart of your business is your database, and the heartbeat of your business is your regular contact with your database. I got to tell you, I added this in there, use command, because the devil's in the details. We've heard that, right? The devil is in the details. So let me tell you something. When you only have 20 people in your database, it's easy to remember details. If you have taken Ignite, one of the challenges in Ignite is add 10 people to your database every day. Well, you'd grow your database really fast if you added 10 people to your database every day, right? If you did that for 200 days and you did 10 per day, that would be a nice database to have, right?
Right.
So when you have 20 people in your database, it's easy to remember the details. When you have 1,500 people in your database, it is really difficult to remember what their kid's name is. Or when you do a client event like a fall festival and they show up and there are their 3 kids and you can remember only one, you can remember the husband's name and not the wife's name and no clue about the kids, right? But when you get those details, and it's embarrassing. I have been there, you guys, and it's like, oh, look at your sweetie. How are you, sweetie pie? You know, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know their names. When you can put those details into command and you link the LinkedIn account, their Facebook account, their Instagram account, and every time you talk to them, you're putting in details like where they work, what do they do, if they've referred somebody to you, please don't forget if they've referred somebody to you, and who was that referral, right? So this is where I really want, the devil is in the details. Use command because it was built specifically for us, right? Okay. The other, it's the power of a database tools. Now, here's an interesting concept. Gary went way back, and in your student manual, if you'll, in your manual there, you'll discover a little bit about Gary's database, Gary's box. What he did is he literally created, now this was back in the 80s, there was no CRM, right? Client relationship management, there was no CRM. So the man put all of his clients on a 3x5 index cards and all of their information, and he put it in a shoebox, and then he started systematically calling them. He put them on a calendar, and he started systematically calling everybody. It was his, let's see, thanks, John. Okay, Greta, do you have, okay, Greta, are you taking care of, I just looked in the chat box and it looks like,
I just forwarded John the email that had the links for today because I was pulling them off as I sent that. So John, it's on the way to you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so Gary would literally put 3x5 index cards, and he called it Gary's box. So look, I don't care, and it doesn't matter, you guys. If you use command, awesome, you'll love it. If you don't use command, but you use a spreadsheet, awesome. If you write it all in a construction notebook and you have all the details, great. It does not matter. put it to a system, because what happens is, and all of you that are experienced, here, you're going to, every one of us could say, oh yeah, it was great in the beginning. I could remember everything. But then when now you're working with 4, 6, 8, 12 buyers at a time, you have 5 or 6 listings going on at one time. If you don't have it system, if you do not have a system on touching your database, it will not happen. I promise you, it won't happen. So this is why early on, for those of you who are new, early on, if you can get this now, every established agent on this call, take yourself off mute right now and say, yes, Robin is right, I've experienced it.
Yes, Robin is
Yes,
right.
Robin is right.
Yes, Robin is right. Yes, Robin is right.
Robin is always right.
Because you guys,
Mary, I had a question.
go ahead, Mary.
Because I've seen on the calendars that go out every week, like it's like command session 2, 3. When does the new command training start again?
The calendar will be coming out. Melody is finalizing that today. And so I will have an answer to you later on this afternoon. I know that when I talked with her this morning, Melody was getting with Sam to find out when his classes were, Mary. So we'll get that info to you.
All right, great, thanks.
You're welcome. All right, so which is the best type of database tool to use? Somebody read that answer to me.
What is that at?
One that you will actually use and use systematically.
Totally true, totally true. Okay, we're going to talk about the 4 laws of a database. Build a database, feed it every day. How do you feed a database?
Entering new contacts.
That's right. Communicate with it in a systematic way and service all the leads that come to your way. Okay, so building a database, it's not just the business of servicing clients, it's the business of finding clients to service. The size of your real estate business over time will be in direct proportion to the size and quality of your database. If you remember what we talked about with a database conversion ratio of 12 to 2, somebody explained to me in really simple terms of why this is a true statement. The size of your real estate business over time will be in direct proportion to the size and quality of your database. Why is that?
It is true, because depending on how much touches you do and how often you talk to them and whatnot, it would be how much business you have. And the other side of it, if you don't do anything with it, there's no business coming to you.
That is so true. And you know, it's like that. It's this roller coaster here that we talk about a lot. Is that when, the real estate roller coaster is you lead gen, you're like, yeah, this is great, I'm getting all these contracts. And then what happens? You're so busy servicing those leads that if you don't have a system in place to be touching these other clients, because man, you're so busy, you didn't even get a chance to make 10 phone calls today because you attended a closing and you went to a listing presentation. And then you've got a buyer that all of a sudden, a house popped up that on their radar that's absolutely perfect. And so you're showing it to them at 6:30 at night when they both get off of work. And then, oh my gosh, by now it's 8:30, I'm getting the kids in bed and I didn't even make 10 phone calls. But if you have that system in the background running where they're getting newsletters and they're getting your marketing and they're getting those automated touches, now at least there's something, your engine is still running in the background. And then this lead generation and closed business, this real estate roller coaster is going to, the highs and lows will not be so extreme. And eventually it's going to level out just a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right, let's move on. This I loved. Now, you guys, I cleaned out a whole lot of slides here. This one I really, really loved because we talk about fishing in a pond, right? And if you've been in my office before, we talk about different types of conversion ratios. And what I mean by conversion ratios is when you have, if you have 3 lakes, let's go small. Let's say we have 3 ponds and all 3 of those ponds represent some sort of leads that you're some sort of lead source. So you might have an internet lead pond, then you have your sphere of influence. Who are your sphere of influence, by the way?
Relatives, friends.
Yeah, people that know you, love you, and trust you, right? And that you never assume that they're going to give you business, but you would be absolutely shocked if they gave their business to somebody else. That's your SOI, your sphere of influence. So let's say you've got a pond of your SOI, and then you've got another pond that's from all of your open houses and door knocking and things like that. Which one of those ponds is going to give you the most referrals and give you the most business?
Sphere of influence.
Sphere of influence. Because they know you, love you, and trust you. So guess what, you guys? Which pond are you going to spend the majority of your time at fishing at? If this pond was your only source of food, and this pond has so much fish in it because they just love the bait you throw out on top of the water, which one of those are you going to fish out of?
Sphere of influence.
Sphere of influence all day long, because it gives you a 12-to-2 conversion ratio. Versus an internet pond gives you 100-to-1. Right? So I love this, but guess what? Everything counts. Everything. You guys look at this. Web searches, responses to advertising, geographic farms, your neighborhoods that you want to farm, response to mailers, community involvement, your client parties, yard signs, seminar attendees. All of these should be feeding this one database, and as they come in, they should be funneling out to you right here into contracts, into brokerage agreements, right? Okay, let's build this out. So let's talk about leads and contacts. Now, you have it Mets and haven't Mets and then Mets. So haven't Mets are people that you've never met, right? Mets are people that you have met, open houses. You've met them through at a power core group or some sort of networking. You've met them at church. You've met them at a party, whatever, right? Those are your Mets. Your haven't Mets are the ones that you just advertise. You put a Facebook ad out there around your listing, or you put a Facebook ad about what my home is worth. You've never met these people. Those are leads, and the Mets are contacts. Haven't Mets are leads, and Mets are contacts. Now, you guys, as Keller Williams has grown and grown from the 80s all the way through 90s and the early 2000s, some of the phrases and some of the definitions changed, right? So that's where you'll see haven't Mets and Mets versus leads and contacts. So just know that your leads are general public and your target group, like farming and neighborhood, and your contacts are people that you've actually had two-way conversations with. How large should your database be? What if you made 2 new contacts each day and enter into your database? Let's talk about how you can do that. Now, what we're going to do is, and if you've been in my office, you know that when I talk about building a database, I'm talking about you're going to categorize your database. Now, within Command, categories are called tags. So if I have a category of my networking group, and I had an Excel sheet with a tab on it that said networking group, and they're part of my database, in Command, I would just put a tag to all of those people. It doesn't matter. Categorize it in whatever way you want to. Even if it's you have 50 lists, it's okay. Categorize it and continue to move. You want all of those. You want the general public and the target group and your network. You want to try to move them all into the center of that dartboard, bullseye, right? So that 20% of your database can lead to 80% of your business. Questions on that? Cool. Okay. Building your Mets database. Sources. Guys, screenshot this if you want to. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a 5-minute exercise, and we're going to gamify this just a little bit. For the person who gets the most people. Now, you can't pull up your database right now and cheat. This is an exercise, okay? And within 5 minutes, I want you to write out and actually just grab a pen or pencil. Don't type it, write it out, grab a piece of paper, and I want you to write out as many names as you possibly can off the top of your head of how many, and you can look at this right here: family, friends, neighborhood, schools, people you do personal business with, sports, hobbies, anything else. I want you to think about your kid's dentist. I want you to think about your kid's pediatrician, think about your chiropractor. You think about every single person, past co-workers, and I'm going to set my timer right now, and you have 5 minutes. The person who has the most contacts written down on your paper, and you can show it, and you can, show the total on the camera, you will earn bonus points for your team. Okay, ready? First of all, does everybody understand what you're doing?
Are we writing names and numbers or just names?
Oh, we just putting the first name? Oh, okay.
Just names. This is a memory jogger. I want you to see when you really start digging and you start thinking about different categories, then this is where I really want you to see what this looks like. Okay, ready, set, go. Don't forget your vendors, inspectors, appraisers, lenders, loan processors. How are you? So when is surgery next week? Okay, countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Take yourself off mute, and we'll do it this way. Anybody, let's start at 30. How many got 30? Anybody got over 30? Okay, great. 40? 50? 60? Okay, anybody got more than
I got 67.
Say that again?
67.
67. Laura, how many do you have?
73.
73. Anybody else have more than 73?
Ay, caramba.
I know a lot of people.
I know you do.
She does. She
Counts.
does. Okay, 73. Woohoo! Nice job, Laura. Everybody take yourself off mute. That was awesome. Okay, Laura, your team is, who are you? What team are you on?
The Roswell Rockstars.
The Roswell Rockstars. Woohoo!
All right.
Should we do a recount or something? Show the picture. Oh my gosh. Okay.
She did it. She did it.
That's right. My head up back.
I love that. Congrats. Okay, Roswell Rockstars, Kim's team, you guys did it. Laura, you just got bonus points. You just got 10 extra points, my friend. Your team just got 10 extra points. Oh yeah, nice job. Nice job. Okay. Let's get back. All right, any questions? Any questions? What do you guys think? How hard was that?
It wasn't hard. It was just the process of writing so fast.
Yes. Yeah. And this is just off the top of your head. Oftentimes people will say to me, I don't know anyone. Well, do you know your bank teller? Do you always go to the same bank teller? Do you know your kids, your daughter's Girl Scout leader? Do you know your dentist? You do know people. It's just sometimes we need a little help in translating knowing somebody about business versus knowing somebody personally. When we really bring massive value to people, then mixing, go get your personal contacts, because how bad are you going to feel if you're sitting at the Thanksgiving meal next time and somebody says, well, I got great news. I have great news. I just bought a house. And you're sitting there going, what?
Kicking yourself.
Right. It's just a horrible, horrible feeling that I don't want anybody to feel. Okay. So let's talk about feeding it every day. Thank you so much for you guys. Also, I want you to point out that your Mets do not have, your contacts they don't have to just be local. So can somebody tell me what's a normal, how much you normally get when you refer a client to another agent?
20%.
25%. That's right. So, let's say that you moved from another state 2 years ago. Or let's say you were in a previous job where you traveled around and you know all kinds of people. Well, you guys, you can actually, when somebody says, if you have a friend in Texas and they're like, well, I'm thinking about buying a house, or you see on Facebook that they're looking at houses or thinking that they're ready to sell, you can help them because you can actually you can locate where they're at. You can call the actual market center that's closest to them. You can ask to speak to the team leader and get some names of people that would be a really good fit for your friend. And you can refer a couple of different people to her to him, and they can choose who they want to use. And you call them ahead of time and say, hey, I'd like to send a good friend of mine to you, but what do you think about a 25% referral fee? Most people are going to say, absolutely, we'll do that. And so, hey, can you make a couple of $1,000? Can you make a couple of $1,000 off of a $250,000 deal? Absolutely. What if you had 10 of those a year? It'd be a nice extra $25,000. Right? So don't forget your out-of-state people. All right. Now, what to feed your database? The more that you can link up in Command and the more that you can get it. Now, here's something that that is often overlooked. Your work address. Because here's what, can you imagine if in a normal post-COVID world, whatever that's going to look like, somebody gives you a referral, a past client gives you a referral, and in a way of saying thank you, you send them a cookie bouquet and you send it to them at work. And everybody that sees it says, oh my gosh, who did you get that from?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what an impact that can make? What if you sent a cupcake to them at their work for their house anniversary or for their birthday? Who sent that to you? Oh, my realtor did. You're making an impact. Well, I need to know that realtor's name. Okay, write that idea if you didn't write that one down. Okay, let's talk about how to converse with your database. So here are ways that you can get information to put into Command by doing what the Ford method is. Can somebody just tell me? I know that it's right there on your screen, but can somebody just talk to me about how easy doing the Ford method is? Take yourselves off mute, and who wants to role play with me?
I can role play.
Cynthia, okay, we're gonna do the Ford method, and my goal today is not necessarily to get a referral from you, although that would be really nice. The goal for today is I'm really just checking in, and so we're just gonna have a little bit of a conversation, okay? Ring,
Okay.
ring.
Hello?
Hey, Cynthia, it's Robin Lemon. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing so good. Cynthia, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was awesome. We got to spend it with family. So not too many, but it was awesome just to reconnect with everyone.
Oh, that's so cool. All right, sidebar. I'm going to break script for a minute. Here's an exercise for you guys on your piece of paper. I want you to write down the questions that I'm asking, and I want you to give me your ahas afterwards. Okay. All right, Cynthia, back in script. So you had so tell me, who was at your Thanksgiving?
Well, it was just my brother and a couple of cousins. We kept it small.
Oh, that's so great. Are they in town or are they out of town?
They're in town. It's here in Georgia. They're in Braselton. So just a little ways to go there.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really great. And did they come over to your house or did you go over to their house?
We went to their house.
Oh, very cool. That's awesome. So you didn't really have to like clean the house and get it all ready.
Yes.
Isn't that so great? So I mean, it's such a crazy COVID world right now, and it's starting to get really, really cold. What are you going to do for Christmas? What are you going to do for holidays?
We don't know yet. Everything's up in the air, especially with like people getting sick, and I know my kids going to school. It's difficult to make the decision so much ahead, which it doesn't seem like that is that far away, but it is.
Yeah, it totally is. It totally is. And it's just, I mean, with the whole COVID, have you been working from home?
I have been.
How many Zooms? Are you Zoomed out by now, Cynthia?
Yes, pretty much. I think everyone.
And how about the kids? Are you having to homeschool them?
No, we actually, after the second semester, they went back to school.
Oh, that was so amazing. I'm sure that was so amazing that you can sort of just focus on work and everything. Well, I'm so glad to chat with you and just kind of get what's happening in your life. So, Cynthia, I have one question for you.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm updating my database, and can you tell me when are the kids' birthdays?
For my oldest is December 17.
And remind me, Cynthia, what's your oldest name?
Charlie.
Okay, Charlie. And then what? And his is December when?
December 17, 2000.
Awesome. And the rest of them?
And it's I have another boy is Brandon, and he's July 9, 2014.
Nice, nice. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. Cynthia, is there anything I can do for you right now?
Not at the moment. It's just so great to hear your voice and interact with somebody else.
It has been, this year has just been crazy. It's been really crazy in real estate as well. You know, it's like we were all very worried at the very beginning when COVID broke out that we weren't sure about what the business was going to do and things like that. But oh my gosh, it's just been a crazy year. Inventory is 1 month of inventory. And Cynthia, that means if every house that's currently on the market sold without any new ones coming on, it would only take us a month for all of Metro Atlanta to get rid of. It would just take us a month to get rid of them all. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, that is crazy.
With interest rates less than 3%, the buyers and sellers, the buyers were having multiple offers. Sellers are reluctant to sell right now because it's like they don't want to be homeless. So we've come up with a couple of different solutions, but it has really been a crazy year.
Yeah, it has, and it sounds like it's been crazy for you. So, thanks for letting me know all these stats.
Yeah. So look, if you know of anybody that's even thinking about selling their house, I may have a buyer. So keep me in mind. If you ever think of that, keep me in mind. Would love to be able to help them. It's just with the buyers, we're seeing multiple offers, 3, 4. We've seen multiple offers and 11 and 12 offers on just one home. It's crazy. And with the other tools that we have, we're able to, we're able to keep the seller in their home while they find another house and have a contract on it. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. That sounds like good for everyone, really.
Yeah, right. Cynthia, it was so great chatting with you. Thanks so much. Take care, and I'll chat with you probably next month. Just see how Christmas went.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Robin.
You're welcome. Take care.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, give me your ahas. What did you get out of that?
Sorry.
I was going to say, you asked about family, you asked about occupation. You were repeating and affirming the things that she said.
And I like how you kept it conversational. You didn't just directly start saying things about real estate. You kind of inquired about family, friends, and what she did, and then kind of implemented that.
Right. Good.
I will say, like, for me, anytime I have that, like, that I can see it in front and I'm chatting, it just kind of flows the conversation easier. And I know I'm like hitting those points. It doesn't have to be in order. It helps practice, but it really does give you the points and you cover everything instead of like once you finish the call, it's like, darn, I forgot to ask about this, which Robin pretty much touched everything, like ask about my kids if she didn't remember, all those things that like you want to update the database. You want to put these quick notes that next time you have something to talk about, and it doesn't have to be real estate. You're still doing the touch.
I think I like, Robin, that you reminded them that you're a market expert, but like really conversationally, like by bringing up that houses are selling less than 30 days. I thought that was good.
Good, thank you.
I think you were also subtly sort of digging for leads in a sense, that you were asking if people were in town or out of town, whether she had dinner at home or at someone else's house, just to see what kind of information she would share that maybe, could lead to something.
Yeah.
You were very warm and engaging, Robin.
Thank you, Colleen.
It
Go
came
ahead.
from a very, it was almost as if you were speaking to a friend and asking, just kind of following up with them on how their holidays went. It would take anybody off guard. You were not salesy. You were very, just very interested in them and their life, and you put her at ease right from the start.
Thank you for that. So you guys, that's just how easy it is. And the reason why that was easy is because I was genuinely interested in hearing what Cynthia had to say. And you're right, I dug just a little bit to find out, okay, because if they had said, you know, if she had said, I did it at my house, you know, we just renovated the sunroom, and I was so glad to have everybody over that they could see it. And so that would have been an open door right there that I could have said, oh my gosh, I would love to see it. And then that, of course, if they're going to, if somebody's going to come over, if a realtor's going to come over, and if they are even thinking about selling, then they're immediately going to say, you know what, we really should have you over because we've actually thought that maybe now is a good time. So you could go in lots of different directions there. So it's just, you know, and sometimes you can ask for the referral and sometimes you don't have to. It depends on how the conversation is going, because you never want to sound salesy, but there are times where there is nothing wrong with asking for the business. Really, a great time to ask for business is after you've done some sort of client event. So you know, like for example, we still do it. The team still does pie events where we give away pies. Merle, would you just share a little bit from if you can? I know that you took a phone call earlier. Merle, can you share just a little bit about your pie party that you just had, and what sort of conversations were you able to get out of that, and did you get any referrals? Can you hear me, Merle? Okay, we'll move on. She just had one. But here's the deal. This is where your client events, anytime that you give something of value, you guys, this is the opportunity where you can ask for the business without straight up saying, do you know somebody that can, you know, that would like to sell or buy their home right now? Right? That's so awkward, right? But when you can do it in a conversational way, using that Ford method, you know, that's and being intentional about that, because then what happens when I send Cynthia, when I send a little, you know, a little Target $5 or $10 or $20 gift card to her son for his birthday. Okay, I just added some major value to them. Because when you care about their kids, then they really love you even more, right? Okay.
Robin, can I ask you a question about that?
Yes, Kim.
About giving gifts to clients at events or anything. What's the limit there? Like if you're having an open house or you're having an event around that and you're having some type of giveaway, is there a monetary limit?
So what you're thinking about there is, and there are a couple of different things here. So let's address those real quick in answer to your question, Kim. When you give a client a gift, you can give a gift and write that off up to $25 with the IRS. Okay, so that they're going to cap that client gift for at $25. That's all you will be able to write off. If you give a gift that is somehow branded with a permanent branding on it, then that is an advertisement cost, and there is no cap to that. Now, can you pay someone for a referral? Absolutely not. You cannot pay somebody. You can't run a contest and say, for every referral that you send to me, I'm going to send you a Starbucks card. You can never do that. That is a big no-no with Georgia Real Estate Commission, that you cannot pay for a referral. The only way you can give some sort of value to that where you can pay for a referral is if it's a referral from another agent. In that case, you can give them a referral fee. Now, when you do a client event that is a marketing event, in which case you're going to give out a bunch of pies, then that's just a thank you. You're not asking for a referral. You're not giving them a pie saying, would you give me a referral now? Because you just paid for a referral. No, we're giving them value, and they will want to reciprocate by saying, oh my gosh, you've got to meet my neighbor. They're thinking of selling, and I think you would be awesome with them. Do you see the difference?
Yes, thank
And
you.
did that answer your question?
Yes.
Great. Okay. Thank you for that question, Kim. What to feed your database, adding contacts, when to enter. So here we go. We're going to talk about communicating with it in a systematic way. And I've asked you this before because this is one of my favorite books, and Aubrey actually gave this book to me, but it's called Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits. Who has purchased it?
I have.
I have it too, Robin.
What do you guys think of it?
I haven't read it all, but it's good what I've read.
Yeah, I just started mine too, and it just talks about how you start making a small change, like a small habit, and then you build on that, and then it leads to bigger change.
Exactly. You know what? You're going to get better with those conversations, that forward conversation that Cynthia and I had. You're going to get better at that. And you're going to, because you're going to create that as a habit, and that conversation, you're just going to be able to add to that. So the more that you internalize scripts and the more that you do that and make it a habit to always talk about real estate in a conversational way, that is a fantastic habit that you can then build upon. Right? It's called habit bundling. Okay, so at the beginning of your lead generation, then you're going to identify and prioritize your lead generation activities. At the end of the 3 hours, you're going to update your database. Now, you guys, you do not have to do this all. You don't have to do your 3 hours in one lump sum. Especially if you have current deals, you may not be able to do that. But can you do an hour in the morning and an hour midday and an hour in the evening?
Yeah.
You probably could, right? I can tell you, I've never sat there for 3 hours and just pounded it. I never did. It was, you know, I knew what to do with that. And I'm going to show you a couple of tips. Okay. I'm going to just let you look at this slide. We've got an 8x8. We have a 12 direct and a 33 touch. Now, you guys, this was written a long time ago. This has now been updated. So you can always have the 8x8. Remember last week I showed you in Command how you can add an 8x8 smart plan. I showed you how to add a 36 touch. We don't do 33 touch anymore. We found 36 touch works really, really well. And you also have your 12 direct mail. Let's talk about some examples of this. Overview of systematic marketing plans. You haven't met. This may be a neighborhood, even your own neighborhood. This may be a neighborhood that you are farming. Or it could be, and let's talk about some ideas of how to farm your neighborhood. I think I spoke to a few of you about this a couple of months ago. I found out that one of my daughters-in-law, her sister organized a food truck to come into her neighborhood every Wednesday night during COVID. And they socially distanced, but she's very involved in her neighborhood. She's sort of like the social director of the neighborhood. And so she did not pay for this. She just told the food truck people that I promise you, we have a very active neighborhood. You're going to at least get 20 to 30 meals. And if you give us a menu ahead of time, we'll order it ahead of time, but will you come and just give it a shot one time? They did, and they had practically the whole neighborhood came out. Now, how could you translate that? That didn't cost her a dime, by the way. And so when she brought them out to the neighborhood, and she's not even in real estate, she just did it because, you know, she's a social sort of person. So that's just one idea that you can actually farm without it costing you anything. So she put something on email, on Nextdoor app and their Facebook page, and then she put it on a flyer and stuck it in everybody's mailbox and said, hey, food truck's going to be in our neighborhood this coming Wednesday night. Don't bother cooking. Right? And it didn't really cost her much of anything, maybe a couple dollars for paper and ink. So that's one idea that you could do to farm or market to an area. Anybody else have any ideas that you could that this one spawned?
Robin, Go ahead.
Sorry. So obviously this is pre-COVID, but I lived in a community that had amenities. And so the opening of the pool every year, I would participate in the opening of the pool, and everybody before they even got there, I would, no, it did cost me some money, I'll be honest. But I filled the pool, the entire pool, with beach balls that had my logo on them.
Yeah.
And my name. And then we had a DJ, and I would have little games, you know, like trivia contests. And when somebody won a trivia question or whatever, they either got like a towel with logo on it, or maybe a water bottle or something along those lines. So that was my big one every single year. That was the neighborhood that I lived in, and the neighborhood that I farmed. But these were also 500,000 and above homes. So I was willing to, and of course we all have to be fiscally responsible and think about, okay, if I'm going to be going into a neighborhood of $250,000 homes, you just want to scale your, obviously, you know, how much you're spending accordingly and what the return on that investment could be. But that was one of the things I've done. I've done lots and lots of different fun things. I've done where I brought in a dumpster for spring cleaning. And I told everybody in the neighborhood, the dumpster will be here for this weekend only. That cost me like $325. And the whole neighborhood came out and they could fill that dumpster for the weekend. And then I was there to just kind of chat with people. So those are a couple of ideas.
That's awesome. That's really awesome, because this is where, and you guys, there are certain things. So, you know, your 12 direct is your direct mail marketing once per month. This could be set it and forget it, a newsletter. And they are in command. So you can do a set it and forget it newsletter where it's just, you know, it's just a real estate. It could even be a real estate update every month, right? It's a set it and forget it. And then if somebody opts out, you make sure that they're removed from getting that newsletter. But this is just kind of like you're throwing out seeds. You're throwing out seeds. And then eventually somebody will call you on that. So that's called a 12 direct. It's haven't met, you don't know them. The next one are your METs. Your haven't mets or leads, your METs or contacts. So now you have an 8x8. This is talking about cementing that relationship in 8 weeks. It's an intense touch. Now there's a new one that's called 7 to cement, but it's the same principle. 8x8, it doesn't matter. 7 or 8, it does not matter. It's intense. You're reaching out to them in 8 weeks. And I sent over some material in a separate email that kind of talks a little bit about that, but we'll get into that right now. And then your 33 touch, that's your maintenance plan. It maintains relationships over your 1 year cycle. So your goal is to out-touch all other agents. I mean, that is the absolute truth. Your job is to out-touch everybody else because everybody else wants your database and they are out for blood to get your database. Every time one of your people goes to an open house and they fall in love with that agent at the open house because you haven't been reaching out to them, you just lost them, right? Reaching out in a systematic way. And that feels terrible when that happens. But here's the benefits of systematization. I can't believe I actually said that without stumbling over my tongue there. Wow, systematization. Wow, okay. So consistency, predefined, repeatable, automatic. Keller Williams Marketing Materials. We have the 12 direct plans. We have the 8x8 plans. And guess what? They're target specific. So if you want one for FSBOs, you want one for expired listings, one for buyers, one for sellers, they're in there. Now, basic 8x8 is this. It's the entry point. It's applied immediately when you meet them. If it's at an open house, you're immediately going to put them in an 8x8, immediately. And And if you've talked to me about open houses before, you'll know that I'm also going to tell you that when they leave that open house, and we're not going to get into open houses because it's 2 weeks down the road, but open houses, when you leave that open house and you're finished and you've locked up and you got their contact information, anybody who's sat in my office, what do I tell you the first thing you're going to do when you leave?
Write a handwritten note?
You're going to text them immediately. And yes, Cynthia, you're going to send them a handwritten note, but you're going to text them immediately. It was so great to meet you today. Thank you for stopping by 123 Main Street. If I can ever do anything for you, happy to help. By the way, enjoyed our conversation. And as we talked about, I am happy to send you any off-market properties. Now, I don't want to get too much into open houses because we have a whole class on open houses coming up. But you're going to text. It's just a system, you guys. It's just a system. So 8x8, it's a combination of personal visits, phone calls, items of value. What sort of items of value could you give to somebody that you've just met?
Maybe some
measures.
quick CMA. Do Starbucks gift card.
Mobile app.
Homes that are sold in the area.
Good.
Neighborhood nurture, an introduction to a partner in the process, like a lender or something like that, or somebody to help refinance their home.
Yeah, all of those. And they're free. Those things are free. What Bill is talking about, those things are free to you. Okay, here's some suggested items of value. You can talk about facts about expired listings, getting your home in top selling condition. What's happening in our area? You know what? Most in the newsletters that I've sent over the years, when I talk about what's happening in your neighborhood, your monthly neighborhood nurture, what's happening in your neighborhood, or how much equity do you have in your home right now? Oh my gosh, the click rate, the open rate for those newsletters, they skyrocket. So track your click rate, track all of that so that you know what's really working for certain buyers. And then you're going to put it in command because you're going to be able to see it. So here are some customized 8x8 plans. Let's look at this one right here. Let's talk about my demographic farm. What is a demographic farm? How about downsizers?
Yeah, it sounds like a group of people like 55 and older, or millennials, or that sort of thing.
Downsizers. We baby boomers, we're ready. Many of us are ready. I won't count myself in there, but many baby boomers are ready to downsize. Why? Because they're sending their kids off to college and they need their equity. And besides, they don't want to pay the power utilities on all of this when nobody's here. Downsizers. Downsizing, so if you can, and how do you know that? Tax records. You can find out when somebody, if you target a neighborhood that was built in the 80s or the 90s, and you start looking at who's had that house for 20 or 30 years, it's in the tax records. Look in the sale history on the tax records. When you're in FMLS, and you go to public records and you can pull that area up, guess what? It will show that to you. There's a class that FMLS teaches you about that, by the way. It's called Public Records. So they're going to talk to you about that. Go to FMLS on demand and take that class whenever you can, because you'll learn so much about that.
Rama, can you repeat what you were getting out of that? I totally blanked. I got the FMLS tax records, but I didn't get what we were looking for.
So when you're looking at maybe who the downsizers are, maybe some folks that are ready to downsize. So if you can target a particular neighborhood that maybe is a little bit of an older neighborhood, so that they've lived in that home for maybe 15 years, right? 15, 20 years, maybe their kids are going off to college. And you can actually identify that information. You can pay for this list, by the way, but why bother? It just takes a little bit of elbow grease, that when you can go into the property tax records in FMLS, they teach you how to isolate neighborhoods, and you can literally look, you can literally download that information and look to see how long people have owned that house. Guess what? That's a great one to start targeting about the, the benefits of downsizing. And then you can do a downsizing seminar for those same folks. Just an idea. Okay, let's talk about a 36 touch. Now they're talking about a 33 touch here. I've renamed this to 36 touch. Again, it's a systematic marketing and prospecting technique. Somebody tell me the difference between prospecting and marketing.
Prospecting is when you are trying to add clients to your database, when you're looking for new leads, and marketing is being able to give them something of value, to stay in contact with them, or to display, closings or anything of that nature, so that way you can stay in their face. I hope that made a little sense.
It does, it does. And the prospecting and marketing, the difference are two words. Prospecting, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Prospecting is active and marketing is passive.
That is correct. So prospecting is having those one-on-one conversations. You're having two-way, and strike that. It doesn't even have to be a one-on-one conversation. It could be, you could be doing a home buying seminar or a downsizing seminar to 30 people, and you can have lots of two-way conversations. You're prospecting in that home buying seminar. You're leveraging the same thing you would say at a kitchen table of talking with some folks that want to downsize or right size, versus doing it in a seminar. Is still prospecting, versus marketing is advertising or marketing that downsizing seminar and sending it out to a whole demographic farm, right? So that's the difference. Marketing is passive, prospecting is that one-on-one. It's intentional, right? Thank you so much for both of those, guys. So here is where a 36 touch consists of this. Write this down. I'm going to show you a fantastic resource for you to go to here in just a minute. Your 36 touch consists of four telephone calls. Guys, you can call way more than 4, but at least do 4 once per quarter. Now, if you're doing a client event and you do one in the spring and one in the fall, are you going to make phone calls to your clients ahead of time about that client event?
Oh.
Somebody say yes.
Yes.
Right, you are. So will you get more than 4 phone calls in per year? Yeah.
It's a great excuse to call them.
It's a great excuse to call them. You have taken marketing, which is this, client event thing. You're taking marketing, you sent them an e-bite. You sent them an e-bite to come to that client party, and so you're following it up with that phone call. Or you sent them a monthly neighborhood nurture to let them know what the value is, and that's a fantastic way to get that back. 26 every other week emails. Every other week, 26 emails every other week. This is where you're going to maybe give them a status update on their market, what's happening in their neighborhood, right? Every other week, you give them a tip on one week, and then you give them the market status update for their neighborhood for the next, whatever way you want to do that. 4 promotional directs. Just listed, just sold, invitations to your client events, right? Anything that you're promoting. So it's 36 touches. You can actually count more, you guys, if you quote touch them via social media, thank you cards, birthday cards, etc. Okay, now I'm going to stop my sharing screen because I want to show you a really, really great resource. Anybody, while I'm doing this, somebody tell me who the Peters Company is.
The Peters Company is Andy and Leslie's business, sales business.
Yes, the owner of the ownership of GLG.
Okay, so there, thank you both for that. So Andy and Leslie Peters are the owners of the Peters Company, and Andy is the operating partner of Georgia Legacy Group, which consists of Roswell Market Center, Chattahoochee Market Center, and Alpharetta Market Center. Okay, and they were on stage with Gary Keller at a few times talking about their 36 touch program. They amped the 33 touch up to the 36 touch. So this is their Facebook page. Let me show you how to get there. So if you'll go to your Facebook page, and in your search up here at the top, put in Peters Company 36 Touch Mastermind. Peters Company 36 Touch Mastermind. And when you put that in there, it's going to, this one will come up, and you click on that one, and then you can ask to follow that. It's a private group, and so you can ask to follow that. Now, here's what's really cool about this. All of these ideas are really great. People share their ideas of events and marketing and things like that. This is really cool stuff. But let me show you. If you go to Files, click on Files. Now look. It has their marketing materials that they use. Now here's what's really, really great. Check this out. This I already sent to you. Did it open up? Yeah, it opened up in it. Here we go. Okay, let me open that up in a different. I sent this to you guys via email just a minute ago. So let me stop this screen sharing and let me give you a new share so you can see this. It's brilliant. Okay, let me describe what you're looking at. Do you see this big slide? I need to move this.
Yeah, we see it.
Let me explain what you're looking at here. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and the weekend. Look at the activities that they have assigned to each day. I emailed this to you guys. You have this in your inbox. We have what we call rip off and duplicate, R&D in this company, not research and development, rip off and duplicate. Andy and Leslie are all about you ripping off and duplicating what they're doing, because when they win, we win, and when we win, they win, right? So take a look at this. Here is your schedule. This is your 36 touch right here. This is your 36 touch schedule. That's not bad. Now let me describe what this is. This is called the DTD2. Do the database twice. That means you're calling your database twice in whatever period you want to call them in. Whether it's, you know, they have it set up in where you're doing it through 13 weeks. That's usually how it goes. Now, if you have a really large database, that may mean that you've got to split that out a little bit differently or make it a little bit longer, or get other people to help you. But week one, you're going to call the people in your database with the last names that start with A and W. And all that week, you're calling those people A and W's. Week two, everybody where their last name starts with B and E, you're going to call them that week. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yes.
Now, let me take this a step further. When you input your people into Command, you can create a tag that gives you week one A and W. You can tag them in Command. So then you can sort in Command who you need to call that week. Make sense? You can also do it in a spreadsheet where you just have 13 tabs on a spreadsheet, or write it out on a piece of paper and have a piece of paper for 13 pieces of paper. I don't care. But does that give you a little bit of direction on a way that you can systematize a 36 touch?
Oh, for sure. It's a lot easier.
Good, 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 good. So guys, I'm go to that Facebook page and make sure that, you know, grab it and duplicate those efforts. Why not?
Could you walk us through the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, especially on Tuesday, it says PCSOR. I think somebody said that, brought it up in the, Greta brought it up in the chat. Was wondering what PC.
Thank you. I'm not even monitoring the chat. What is, Constance, what is your question again?
Well,
on
SOI
Tuesday,
is sphere of influence, but I don't know what PCSOI is.
Yeah. It's on Tuesday, and then it's also under Thursday, Friday, and weekend. Like, what does PCSOI stand for?
That's a great.
SOI. Well, SOI is sphere of influence, but
correct. But
what does the PC stand for?
Yeah.
That you guys, Peter's Company. That's exactly what it stands for. Call Peter's Company Sphere of Influence to schedule lunch or coffee and drinks. That's exactly what it means.
Okay.
Yep. Again, rip off and duplicate. I ripped it off of their Facebook, but that's exactly what it stands for. Okay, you got it? All right, I'll stop sharing that. And let me go back to the screen right here. Okay. Are you still seeing that same slide with the DTD2?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Robin, do you mind going through? I have a question on the, I think Constance was also asking, if you look at the week, like I've been doing that, what I fondly refer to as R2D2, just because I think
I do that all the time. Yes, go ahead.
I do R2D2, and I'm just simply making calls at this point, but it looks like they're dividing up. And does that mean they're doing just, because when you get a substantial one, you know, it becomes a hefty job just to do that. Are they just picking chunks and doing, like, some get social media, some get a call that don't, some get a card, or is it, I mean, how?
That's a great question. The all the way on the top, these are overall your tasks that they're doing that weekend. Okay, that's right. or those days. The letters DTD2, those are the people you're calling, these people here during week one. You're calling these people right here week one. You're calling them that week along with doing these.
Okay, so they're getting bombarded 5 times during the week?
Well, take a look at what you're doing. You're going on Monday, you're going to social media, and I'm not sure what Prime is, but you're going on to social media and you're saying happy birthday. So that just kind of gives you a reason to talk with them. So on Mondays, when you're calling on Mondays, you're going to ask them, hey, if you're going to make all birthday calls, right? And ask for missing info. On Tuesday, you're going to call your letters for the week and your sphere of influence that didn't answer the first time on this day. Right? And then you're asking for missing data because you're not going to get everybody on the same day. That's why the whole week is for A and W. Because you might not get them on Monday, but you might get them on Thursday.
Right, but my point is that if I'm calling them, I'm liking them on social media or whatever, and then I'm also going to write them a card that week, and then I'm also going to call them to schedule lunch or coffee with some of them, and then I'm saying, like, it seems like it's a whole lot one week, or I'm trying to figure out how that works.
Right. So when you don't have to do every single one of these for every single person you're talking to, right? So this is the way that they're doing that. And so for you, week one, A and W, to me, it's 2 separate things. Every day, well, I used to. I don't do it anymore because of my new role. But every day I would go on to Facebook. And you guys, I hate Facebook, by the way. But I would go on to Facebook and all birthdays, I said, happy birthday. And I would go through and I would like random posts throughout for my clients. I would note, and I would say, oh my gosh, Libby looks so cute today. You do that at the beginning of the year because everybody posts what their kids look like the first day of school, right? And so you're doing a little bit more social media activity then, but this is ongoing where you're just paying attention to, to LinkedIn, you're paying attention to Facebook, you're paying attention to Instagram. This is just a way that you can sort of systematize it. You can do it in whatever way you want to, but yes, you're right, Greta. If you were doing, okay, I said happy birthday to them, I called them, I commented on their kid, but then week 2 through 12, I don't say anything to them. So you're still going to be touching them through social media. And they're still getting your newsletter every month. And they're still hearing from you in different ways. But this is an intentional phone call so that you're not calling them every week. You're actually only calling them every 13 weeks, right? But you're still staying in touch with them with a handwritten note or something like that.
I totally get what you're saying, but I still don't think you understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not making myself clear. Let's say I'd made a call on Monday and I got, just for argument's sake, A and W. Everybody, I reached them. Everyone talked to me. Done. Did it. Then it really, that's fine. I didn't have to do Tuesday, but I don't want to write them a card after I just talked to them 2 days before. I want to write them a card too. I don't understand why. Or do I chunk it with a big substantial one and say a quarter of them are going to get a call, a quarter of them are going to get a card, a quarter of them are going to get a call for coffee or something 2 weeks from now, and then rotate that through? What I don't want to do is say, oh, it's your week and I'm paying you a ton of attention, and then 13 weeks go by.
That's exactly, thank you for clarifying that. Forgive me for not understanding your question. So I think you answered your own question there. It's all about chunking it down. It's all about systematizing it in some way. Now, let's not forget that the Peters Company has a database of something like 4,000 people. So unless you have a database of about 4,000 people that you've actually done business with, this might not be, so you need to scale this way back. But if you do have a database of 4,000 people that you've done business with, or that you have deep relationships with, then yes, you could see how something like this calendar or this schedule would be highly effective. But if you have a database of 300 people that you want to consistently stay in touch with, chunking it down in some way that week one A and W, you're calling them, but week 8 A and W, you're sending them letters. Right? Either way, you're implementing some sort of systematic way of touching them.
Perfect. Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Again, this is something where you have to customize it to yourself. There's not a one size fits all because every database is different, right? Okay. Let me get rid of that one. Here we go. Okay. So again, be consistent, be personal, be long-term, command, get into command and customize that. Your 12 direct is those series of direct mail pieces, right? This is where you can do seminars, ice cream trucks. Right now would be an amazing time to do a blanket drive or a coat drive. You can actually do it in your neighborhood, load up a wheelbarrow or whatever you have to do, enlist the kids' help, and do a blanket drive where you're actually, and you're showing them that you're committed to the community. Or with your past clients, come up with ideas, think outside the box, right? Okay. We'll talk about, we're not going to talk about Gary in the box. Database duties of an agent. You have your daily duty. Every day you need to be in your CRM. Every day you need to be in your database. Myth, I don't have enough leads to bother with a CRM. Most agents in the growth phase of their career are managing 20 to 80 leads at a time. With just 20, it's difficult to get contact information up to date. as well as scheduling and completing your other lead gen. Implementing touch programs without an automated system becomes virtually impossible. Been there, done that, you guys. Okay, action plans, systematic, get it going. Okay, let's talk about unresponsive contacts. If somebody opts out of your email, then opt it out. You don't want to get hit with some spam thing. So make sure that if they say that they don't want to be part of any of your mailings, opt them out, but don't delete them from the database. Unless they said, delete me from your database, I never want to hear from you ever again, right? But make sure that you do have that. Okay. I want you to get on the fast track. You're gonna load up your pipeline or your funnel. You're gonna assign smart plans to them. Don't forget to source where those people came from. And then you're gonna track what happens with them. What happens, you guys, is when you just start killing it, right? And you're doing the 36 transactions that we're going for. If you don't know where people are coming from, you don't know what's working for you, right? And if you don't know where they're coming from, how do you know how to assign them to the proper group in your database? So if you've got somebody that you're really targeting to downsize, would you send them a first-time home buyer marketing piece?
Robin.
Oh.
But potentially every contact that you have in your database can belong to several tags.
Yes,
right?
Yes, that's right.
So I guess the tags are gonna be how you market them, I guess.
That's exactly right. We have several tags Scott has several tags in the database where, I mean, he literally has tags for Pie Party. He has tags for Fall Festival. He has tags for repeat business. He has tags for referrals, right? Out of state, in state. You can create as many tags as you want to, because creating a tag to your contacts means you can sort them by the tag that you want to sort them by. So when it comes time to do a pie party again, and you want to sort by pie party to see who you invited last year but they didn't come, then you know that this is your core group, but then you're also going to be inviting all of these other people. Or maybe you find out that this person doesn't participate in the pie party because they have a very strict diet. Well, don't send them an invitation. Maybe give something else to them and put them on the Mother's Day flower giveaway, right? And so it really is all about, it's really all about tagging them, Oscar, so that you can sort and be very effective with your direct mail pieces.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm flying through here, okay? Past your sourcing leads, past client referrals. All right, let's talk about this. Which is the cheapest, which is the bargain of the century on this page? I just heard a bunch of garble. Okay, one at a time. 1, 2, 3, somebody.
Past client.
Referral.
Referrals. Love them. Past client referral, agent referral. Hey guys, what if you don't have it? What if you've never done business? You haven't ever done business.
Farm,
What is your best? You've never represented a buyer or seller. Newbies, tell me right now, what is it?
Open house.
Bing, 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 bing. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, open house. Gosh, I can't stress that enough. 10% of my past business is from open houses. 10%. Okay, tracking leads, leads follow up. Okay, let's wrap this up. I can't believe I got through this. Oh my gosh. Let's talk about ideas, about building your database. What's been really working for you?
Robin,
before was the cold calls and then like getting referrals from a sphere of influence. But I do love that you said adding 10 people to your database every day. I think that's very aggressive, and that will definitely increase your business, whether no matter what level of business you're doing, because with that many top contacts of Mets and haven't Mets, and if you're able to put them in on a plan, your business is gonna increase. So that's my thought.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you, Constance. And this is where, let's talk about some ideas for adding people. So 10, that's aggressive, right? So let's talk about that. What is a way that you can add 10 people to your database today?
Grocery store, Walmart,
social media,
Cards.
Facebook.
I did a door knock the other day. I was waiting on a girlfriend. She was a few minutes late, and I actually got 8 off of her street in the time I was waiting for her to come home.
That is awesome. So what did you do with that?
Put them in my database, or I just got them. And that was one of the ones that I found out from one of the leads about the people across the street.
Yep. Yep, very good. Really good. Okay, let's talk about Facebook. How can you remember when you add a contact to a database, you need the name, their phone number, their email address, preferably their mailing address, and whatever juicy details you can get, right? So having somebody's name doesn't really mean a whole lot. Now, could you look them up on the tax records and find out where they live and send them a little postcard and, hey, I didn't get your phone number. It was so great to chat with you the other day. As long as they didn't feel you were getting all creepy, because how did you know that they got your address from the public tax records, right? Or you could use forewarn and things like that, but that can creep some people out. So tell me a great way that you can add to your database just from Facebook. What can you do?
I did a raffle. I did rings for rings. I got set up where I was gonna raffle with 100 people, kind of like a reverse bowl.
Yeah.
And got people to call me. I also shared on websites where it's like yard sales, all those things. I got, I think at least, I want to say 12 people that I did not know from my database. They called me and said, hey, just call me, answer a couple questions about real estate. And when they did, I had a couple questions to ask. I said, hey, like, do you own, rent? What are your plans for real estate? And then depending on what they answer, I say, well, no, I'm looking to buy in this amount of time. Like, like I have that. And I told them, I'm like, I'm not only giving the raffle of the Ring doorbell, I'm giving everyone a small price, which is a lottery ticket, but I say I'm going to mail it to you. So I need your address. I already have their number. They called me. They had to call me. It's not like through FaceTime. They had to call me at that number. And then the email will come naturally later that I'll be asking. So I did get 41 people to call me for that.
Wow.
It wasn't, I want to say, like, anytime you hear, like, with the one thing, like, if you set up yourself too high and you don't meet that, you feel like a failure, which felt like I wanted to have the 100 or more. But overall, like, I think it was a success. I didn't get to raffle both Ring doorbells. I only did one. But honestly, it was such an amazing thing to do and just get that done and get to talk to people. And it didn't, the most that one of the calls lasted was 12 minutes, but it was because that person was a talker, but I got 2 referrals from that person. So I'm like, hey, it's okay. So it worked. But there is things that you can do, small things, so they can call you, do something that it will just pique their interest. We like getting free stuff. All of us. I love getting free stuff. Like, so like, it just.
Was that a paid ad?
Sorry?
Was that a paid ad? How did you do that?
I just did it on my my thing. If you want to add me, you can go see what I did. I'm going to be giving the actual Ring doorbell to the person that wanted today. I'll have a little small video. And I did the raffle like live, which I was like nervous as heck because I've never done that and I hate putting my face on Facebook. But I did it, and it just, I can send, it was from another agent from KW that has like it's 4 pages. It walks you through step by step of what you should do and what you shouldn't do and what it was for them, their outcome. For me, it was 5 potential buyers and 2 actively looking right now. And that was Friday of last week.
Cynthia, what's your last name? I'm trying to find you on Facebook. And can you also email that to the group or something?
Yeah. My last name is Bourdwa, Bourdwa. And I put my last name on the chat.
Okay. Thank you.
That is excellent. And you know, when you can do that sort of thing, one of the things, and one of the things that Andy and Leslie did is that they were giving away a Yeti cooler, and so in order for them, what they did is, in order for you to be eligible to win, they sent out all these koozies. Am I remembering this right, Bill? They sent out all these koozies and they said, you have to tag the Peters Company from anywhere and you have to be showing your koozie and tag us.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right? And so it blew up on social media and got so much attention that Gary Keller said, I want to talk to them. Because it got so much, it literally went viral, where they had people tagging, and next thing you know, other people, they did something where you had to do something about their logo, and some dude, like, he mowed the lawn in their logo. And took a picture of it and sent it to them. It was hilarious, some of the things that we're doing. But when you're doing a giveaway, something like that, and you're making it fun, who doesn't want some fun right now, right? When you're doing something fun, gosh, you know, and again, R&D, you guys rip off and duplicate, rip that idea off of Cynthia, and you don't even have to rip it off, she's giving it to you, right? But duplicate these efforts. We don't have to recreate the wheel.
That reminds me, there was one that JC Mirabella's team did a year or so ago. It was like some kind of coloring contest. And then they tagged, so they sent out like I think it was one of those really cool, like detailed designs, and like maybe they sent out some color pencils or something like that. And then they had all the kids draw and design it, and then did something similar to the Peters did, where they created a hashtag and they posted it all over the web, and it got a ton of attention also.
The Peters Company did it first. I think Marabella went from there like years ago, and that's how they started. They had to put hashtag the Peters, and then it was like the house, and like they got to pick whoever like most creative, more this and whatnot. And it doesn't have to be a big prize, honestly, because again, everybody wants to participate in their, if they're hashtagging it, like, you know that their friends are also gonna see that. If you don't have them as their friends, you'll like make an impact as well. So that always helps.
Yeah, that's really great. This is where, yes, you can do giveaways, but I'm telling you, it sounds to me like the little amount of money that you spent, Cynthia, I mean, I'm hearing you got 2 referrals already, right? How many referrals so far have you had?
I have 2 referrals. It is like the possible, they're not like buying right now. So it's 5 possible and 2 that are actively. I'm like, I already have them on the search. I'm already doing something for them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, you guys, it is 3:33. Thank you so much. Let me give you your homework. I'm being very nice to you guys. All right, give me some ahas, because you know what? It's a lot of materials. Is this getting a little bit better, you guys?
Yeah,
and if it isn't, feel free to say no.
Having it beforehand
Yes.
is definitely helpful.
Yep, agreed, Greta. So sorry about that. Anything else?
There's so many different tools. At first, it was a little overwhelming because it was like everything. It's like, wow, all these things you can do. God, where do I start? It's so many. But now it's like, okay, it's more manageable. We just got to figure out what's going to work for us and take whatever tools that do. So it was overwhelming at first, but it seems to be like we're getting more so into like small digestible chunks. We're eating the elephant one bite at a time.
Yes. That's and it's where it's building. Remember, you're building a foundation. So what's coming up next, by the way, just so that you know, session 5 is called Working with Your Mets. And this is really fun because now you're going to be getting into doing those client event parties. How else do you market to them? What sort of scripts are you really doing, right? And bringing in, and then after that is farming, and then after that is open houses, and after that are FSBOs and expireds. So it's now getting, I hope that now it's getting a little bit more fun, right? So that, we're bringing in additional materials just to try to give you guys some really good nuggets. So any feedback that you have, feel free to do that. We want this to work for you guys. And, this is our first time going through this, so we really want it to work for you. Yeah?
Thanks, Robin. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. You guys, here's your homework. Are you ready? Homework. I want you to practice.
No, we're not ready.
Okay, you are going to practice your forward conversations on 3 people daily. Practice the forward conversation, introduce real estate on at least 3 people daily. Okay? Your second one is tag at least 30 people in your command with the DTD2. You got to do that. If you're not in command yet, then do it on a spreadsheet. But you must do the DTD2, right? Do the database twice. And what I mean by that is you need to put them into the categories and I sent out that, I sent that out to you. If you haven't received it, I'll send it again. But this is that DTD2 where it tells you A and W, B and whatever that was, right? Split your database into that so that you know who you're going to call. And you're not just going through your phone going, oh, I need to call this person now. Oh, I think I'll call this person now. Okay? Add 10 new people to your database this week. 10 new people to your database this week. I challenge you guys to do it every day, but you must add at least 10 to your database this week. Easy, right?
Yeah.
Good. You guys make it a really, really great day. Thank you for your participation and just for investing in yourselves. You're awesome.
Thank you, Robin.
Thanks.
Thanks, Robin.
Bye.
Bye.
Much, Robin.
Bye. Thanks, Robin.
You're very welcome.